What's going on, guys? Another episode of the Replay Podcast. Today, I have of course, a realtor, but also a good friend and just an overall boss lady, whatever you want to say it, and a veteran. Claudia, how are you?
Good. How about yourself? Thank you for having me.
Yeah. This is your first podcast, you were just saying.
My first podcast. I was just telling you.
So I'm your first.
You're
I'm popping
my cherry.
Yes, let's go. So tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and then we'll go down the rabbit hole of questions.
Well,
no pressure.
I am a happy mom of 3 amazing kids.
Yeah.
I have my little girl who is about to graduate college next month.
Crazy.
I cannot believe I'm going to have a college graduate. She's graduating from SDSU.
Let's go.
She's coming back home. And I have 2 little boys.
Mm-hmm.
They are 8 and 6 years old.
8 and 6. Okay. And so when did you decide I want to be a realtor?
Okay, well, actually, I've been doing paralegal work for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, as you already know, during COVID, it was either you're going to sit on your butt and get fat, or you're going to hustle and make extra money.
Yeah.
That's when my daughter graduated college and started college. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, that's when she graduated high school. Yeah. So she had no graduation, no prom.
Dang.
And I knew she was going to start college and she wanted to go out of state.
Yeah.
I'm a single mom, and even though I went to the military because I couldn't afford college, my parents couldn't afford it. Mm-hmm. You know how you're a dad. Yeah. You want to do everything for your kids. You want to make sure they have the better life than you did. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, you're going to go out of state. So I'm going to get myself a second job. And at that time, I had just gotten divorced as well. Mm-hmm. Second divorce, don't judge me.
This is a zero judgment zone here.
Good. And I know I needed to buy a house as well. So I knew everything was perfect. Make more money, buy my own house, provide for my kids. Mm-hmm. And I was able to help other people out, and it just worked out. It was perfect. It was good.
So COVID is essentially what sparked you to become. Now, would you say, I wouldn't say you're a part-time realtor, because you work a lot.
I do.
For real, when you're doing real estate, you're like working hours and hours, like full-time hours.
Yes. On
top of your already full-time schedule.
That is correct.
So how do you manage that?
Well, when you are a single mom, you have no choice, but you make priorities. Yeah. I still have my kids. Priority is my kids all the time. Yeah. My 3 kids. It's either baseball or soccer or school
all that
or
stuff,
any activities, or if I have to fly to San Diego for one day and come back, I always make them my priority. Mm-hmm. However, my clients know when they're selling or they're buying, they can either text me or call me, and I'm pretty much available almost, I want to say 24/7. Yeah. If you text me after 9:30, I go to sleep early because I wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, geez.
But you make time for what you want in life. I realize that. So no, there's no excuses.
Awesome.
You work hard and you play hard too.
Yeah. Okay. So talk to me about what branch did you join?
The Navy.
The Navy. Okay. Talk to me about what was going through your head and why did you choose the Navy? And then let's talk about your experience in the Navy.
So I came here to the United States when I was 11 years old.
Okay, 11.
My parents brought us, my sisters and I, straight from Mexico. No English. Had no idea what was going to happen. I wanted to go to college. I actually wanted to go to USC or UCLA or even names. Reno.
Yeah.
But my parents couldn't afford it. Mm-hmm. And I recall, I'm going to get a little... Sorry.
Totally fine. Yes.
I recall my mom saying, when we moved here, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Am I the
Don't
first
be
one
sorry.
to cry?
No, you're not, but it's okay. No.
Good. I recall her saying, don't end up like me. Mm-hmm. And she meant as in when we were in Mexico, she was working for an office for the school district. And when she came here, when she brought us here to have a better life for us, she was a porter at Boulder Station, so cleaning toilets. So she would always say, don't end up like me. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
She's the hardest worker I've ever met. Like, she's been amazing, for sure. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to make you proud. And even though my sisters didn't go to college, I said, okay, well, how can I go to college and make sure I don't end up cleaning toilets, except for my own.
Yeah.
And I decided the Navy was the best thing. I wanted to travel. I wanted to get away from Vegas. I know it sounds crazy. I'm like, I want to get away from Vegas, start fresh. At 17 years old, I didn't know any better. So I wanted to start fresh, get out of Vegas, travel, and money for college. So the Navy, they travel so much. What else? Yeah. The water. I love the water.
Yeah.
So I picked the Navy. And I remember when I was in boot camp, they asked me, they give you 3 choices to pick. So I looked at the recruiter and I said, or the petty officer, and I said, how can I get San Diego? Because I'm a mama's girl. I still want to be close to my mom. I still wanted to drive to Vegas and see my mommy.
Yeah.
So I remember he looked at me, he smiled, he said, just pick San Diego in all 3 spots and you're going to get it. So I did. I picked it and I got San Diego.
That's awesome. So, man, okay, so you picked San Diego, and I feel like that's the story about your mom and your parents. Like a lot of first generation Latinos for, being in the United States have like a similar story. Like our parents worked hard. They slaved away.
Very hard.
My mom was picking fruit when she first came here with my dad, and they picked fruit. But yeah, I feel like they had that difficult life for us to have somewhat of a better life.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
And I don't know if you've heard that saying, but the saying goes, hard times make strong men, and strong, or I don't know exactly how that saying is, but
I'm really bad with sayings. So, yeah, but I know
it's along those lines. Like they had difficult times, but they created like us, right? And now are we doing the same for our kids? Like, are we, because we want to give them everything, right? So they're not struggling like how your parents were or my parents were.
Right.
So we don't want them to be ungrateful. But I've heard that story like so many times from like my Latin friends. Like, yeah, my mom and dad came here with nothing and cleaned toilets, picked fruit. It's like, it's inspiring. And, you living up to like her legacy, or living up, to, hey, I'm going to go to college, Mom, because you want me to go to college and you want me not to be like you. Not that it's any way
no, for
disgraceful or bad or anything, but she doesn't want you to work how she's worked, right?
Right.
So going into the military, you picked San Diego, and then what job did you get? How was boot camp? How was all of it?
Well, I did the worst thing you could do when you join the military.
Uh-oh.
So never go undesignated. Undesignated, they paint the ship, clean the toilets sometimes. You have to serve like 3 to 4 months to serve food for the enlisted or the officers if you're the lucky one.
Mm-hmm.
They put me with the officers, so that's a good thing. Actually, that's when I got to meet Junior Seau and half of the Chargers team back then,
that's
back in
awesome.
99. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's
so
awesome.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So boot camp was tough. I think it was easy, but my mom tells me she actually still cries to this day when she said I used to send her the letters like telling her how tough it was and how I just wanted to come back home and how I was crying and it's.
But you don't remember it that tough.
I remember being tough, but I don't remember being that hard.
Yeah.
I do recall getting in my head saying, okay, they're not screaming at me. That's their job. They're screaming at everybody else. So either you toughen up or not. And I came I was raised by Mexicans, so like chancla will be throwing at me.
We're used to that.
I was used to that, so it's okay.
So what job did you end up getting? So what did you say?
Undesignated. So I went undesignated.
What does that mean?
And you don't have a job. You get to take a test of whichever job you like.
Yeah.
And then figure out if you pass or advance or you don't. So at that time, I was stationed in San Diego on a ship. The USS Decatur, by the way.
Oh, nice.
The DDG-73.
Oh, okay. Still remember. I love it.
And I decided to go with human resources. It was called personnelman at that time. What it is you get to check in everybody and you get to be in charge of their pay and everything. It's kind of like human resources.
Okay.
But it's kind of cool because when you check them in, you get their entire life. And I'm talking about personal and medical. So at 17 years old, everybody that was coming into the ship, I knew your entire life. How many kids, how many divorces, how many STDs, whatever, I knew your entire life. So you wanted to be happy. You wanted to be my friend. And, not that I would ever discuss anything. Yeah. No, for sure. But I knew your life. And so everybody was a little nicer to me.
That's awesome. Okay. So you served for how long?
Just 4 years.
4 years. Okay. And then give me like a couple of crazy stories that you remember from serving in the Navy.
So it was during 9/11.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
I remember that morning we were getting ready to get underway to go to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And eating breakfast, 6 something in the morning, sitting down, the mess decks, look, TVs are there,
mm-hmm.
looked up, and that's when they're showing the news, and the second
airplane hit the building. Yeah.
So that definitely changed my life. I thought I was going to stay in the military for 20 years.
Yeah.
Probably should have, because I would have retired about 5 years ago.
Oh,
yes,
geez.
I'm 42. I just told myself.
It's okay. You don't look 42. You're fine.
And it was crazy. It was a struggle. It was, I was 19 years old. I had just gotten married
mm-hmm.
that year.
Jeez.
I know Mexicans, we get married young and military. So I had 2 things going for me.
So you were married in the military?
I was married. He was not in the military.
And you met him in San Diego?
I met him through family members.
Okay.
Yes.
So 9/11, that was crazy times. What did you do after you got out of the military?
I got divorced.
Okay.
I had my daughter at that time.
Uh-huh.
I had her when I was 20. I got divorced when I was 21.
Mm-hmm.
I started right away. As soon as I got out, I came back to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I started working for, it was Maynard & Harris back then.
Okay.
Now it's Richard Harris.
Okay.
So I started working for them as a paralegal.
Okay.
And then what happened after that? And I've been doing that ever since. I thought I was going to be 20 years. I thought I was going to go to law school. So I went to UNLV, got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and then I tested for Metro. And I got in. I actually still have my letter of acceptance. But at that time, I was working for Nancy Kwan. I don't know if you knew her. She was a construction defect attorney.
Okay.
She was like my surrogate mom and my best friend's mom.
Yeah.
And she said, no way, you are not going to be a single mom as a cop. I will match your pay. You are not going to be a cop. So I turned it down. I went through the entire process, like from the physical test, and
that was probably nothing for you because
everything.
You did, 3 months boot camp? So
no. The physical part, that was the easy one. But, like the psychological test, everything. It was like a long process to get in.
Like
and I was so
months,
excited. Right. But obviously it wasn't for me. I still think back. I think I would have been you could have been retired already
cop. Too. Right? Yeah. 100%. You are a badass.
Now my niece is a badass cop. So
she is. Yeah, okay. That's right. Yeah. Man. Okay. So 20 years as a paralegal. What do you like about being a paralegal?
What do I like about it?
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is such a small world. You know how it is. Somebody knows somebody, bang somebody. Sorry. Everybody. Vegas is so small.
Yeah.
Somehow. I'm actually very glad to have known a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Great people, amazing people. And I like what I do. I know what I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah.
I like to believe.
Yeah.
And
what explain to people that might not know, what is the job of a paralegal?
We are behind the scenes. We pretty much, I'm a litigation paralegal.
Okay.
So I start from drafting the complaint to either taking the case to trial, which 90% of the times I don't go to trial,
mm-hmm.
or just getting it ready for mediation. So throughout the entire process, we just do, I don't want to say all of the attorneys' job, but we do a lot of their job, and we just don't have the ESQ after our name.
Yeah, so you guys
that was my fault for not going to law school.
So you still can.
Correct. But
what is it, another 6 years or 5? No, 4 years.
It's only 3 years.
3 years.
Full time. However,
Would you want to do that?
I've always wanted to be an attorney.
Dude, you've already done everything. Why not just fucking just go all like, hey, look, let's just, 3 years, let's go.
3 years, who's gonna pay my bills during those 3 years?
You know what? I don't know.
Get loans, get extra loans, and yes, I know I could do it if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Obviously,
because you already essentially know everything it takes. Not, I mean, I don't want to discredit attorneys,
no,
but
for
you
sure.
already know like a lot of the terminology, the laws, like,
correct.
What it takes. I feel like I'm an attorney. I watch Suits so much. I know.
Right.
My brother-in-law is an attorney, and sometimes I'll be talking to him, and I'll start talking to him in like the attorney lingo.
Yes.
And he's like, "You've been watching Suits?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I freaking love that show."
I actually do like that show too.
It's good,
I
right?
don't watch that much TV,
Yeah.
but that's one of the shows I do watch.
I have so why are there in Vegas specific, guys? This is Vegas specifically. Why are there so many personal injury attorneys? Is it because of all the accidents here?
It's just way too many. I don't know, but you turn around, you see one billboard, then somebody else, then the same person, and again and again and again. It's a lot. But I have worked for many attorneys in town. Obviously, you've been doing it for over 20 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have to say, some say that they don't make more than the client. Where I work now at Pacific West, we actually do make less than the client. My attorney will reduce the fees to make sure
Because
the
he cares
client is
about them.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some people say they don't. They do, and they don't.
Yeah.
Well, I know that from experience because I've worked for them. I'm not going to mention names, but yes.
So what about like, who would you say, in your opinion, this is your opinion, is the biggest defense attorney? Not the one that spends the most money on advertising and marketing, but who would you say is the biggest, like
defense attorney?
Yeah, or a personal injury attorney.
Well, I only work for plaintiffs. I work on the good side.
Well, okay, what's the difference? Wait. Tell me the difference.
We
now.
Sue them.
You guys sue
the bad people.
Okay. So who is the biggest bad attorney in town, and who is the biggest good attorney in town?
Oh,
just to make it easy.
I will. Who's the best attorney?
No, not the best. The biggest, like the most successful. You think?
The most successful.
Yeah. Okay. Because I see. What's his name? Demopoulos.
Oh, yeah. Well, he just.
What would he?
I don't know him.
Would he be considered like a big attorney?
I think he's just a celebrity attorney for Vegas, if you ask me.
Okay. That's reference. Like, is it because he's the flashiest? I've seen.
I don't know him. I don't work for him. Flashiest. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say my attorney. He's pretty badass.
Big? Okay, pretty badass.
And
he gets
doing
shit done.
amazing.
Okay.
And he's only 35, 36.
And he's the one that runs. He's the owner of the office.
He is the owner.
And are you guys also downtown? Yeah.
No, we are actually on Buffalo and 215.
What's the name of the office?
Pacific West Injury Law.
Pacific West Injury Law. Okay.
You'll see the billboards.
Yeah. Now
that I said it,
I will.
You're gonna be like, "Oh, Claudia."
Claudia's there right now. Claudia's there. So is there going to come a time where you want to leave paralegal work and maybe go full-time realtor? I know you and I have had conversations about that. But what are your thoughts? What do you want to do in the next 5-10 years?
5-10 years.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. Would I love to just go full time and that's all I do for real estate? For sure. Mm-hmm. However, paralegal job, what I do, where I'm at, he takes care of me. I do a good job. I know what I'm doing also. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm going to leave. Yeah. But I do know I'm well taken care of. Mm-hmm. Pays the bills, and I'm still able to do my real estate and help my clients out anytime I can. So,
and is he pretty good about your flexibility with your schedule? Like as far as, hey, I need to take my kid here, or I need to pick him up here.
So good.
Yeah. So that really does matter when they really do like look after your schedule and hey,
for sure.
My kid is sick.
Especially with having little kids, you know, like they have a lot of time off, or I'll bring them over if I have to, or, you know, flexibility to work from home if I need to. They take care of me.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Because so my, one of my employees on my team, she used to work for a big time realtor in town. and I'm not going to say her name, but it was not a good experience for her. Like very demanding and working long hours. And she has a kid that needs special attention because of, he just needs special attention. So sometimes she needs to leave the house and go to the school, or sometimes she just needs to like, hey, I'm going to start work a little bit late. So when we were talking, I say this because when we were talking, she's like, hey, I need flexibility with my schedule, and I need flexibility with, my kid. And I said, I don't really mind. I don't really care as long as it doesn't interfere with how you do your job and with work. Like if you want to do the work later on, that's totally fine. But as long as our clients are taken care of, and we work as a team, obviously, but as long as our clients are continued to be being taken care of and everything is, flowing smoothly, I don't care. Like your family, of course, is first, and I want you to make that a priority. But she chose to work with us because of that flexibility. And it's kind of like what you're saying, like he respects me and he appreciates.
It helps. Yeah. Like, I share custody with my ex-husband, so I don't have my kids. I only have them half the time. Mm-hmm. So the days that I do have them and I have to drop them off at school and pick them up, if I have to come in late, that's fine. He knows I'm going to get my job done. So definitely, that they work with your schedule. They have to, especially as a single mom. Mm-hmm. Our kids come first.
Yeah, 100%.
A job will always be there. We're replaceable. We can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or, but if somebody like you said, if somebody works with you with your schedule, especially with your kids, if they need help or anything, that's the main thing. I always look at that first because my kids will always come first in my mind.
I love that. I love it. So now, what's your daughter graduating college?
Criminal justice.
Does she want to be a cop too?
No. That's where I got my degree as well, or criminal justice. But she wants to be a criminologist. I think.
Okay.
I think she watches too much CSI. And she might change her mind later. Okay. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But she's ready to start looking for a job because she got into the UNLV Masters. Okay. So she's going to start in August here, which that's exciting.
That's nice, yeah.
So what's her master's going to be in? For criminology as well.
Okay, criminology. So what type of jobs could you get with like that type of degree?
Good question. I really thought you could just wanted to be a cop and that's what you do.
Yeah. There has to be so many other things that you could do with that job though.
I would have to. I think so,
right?
Especially with the court.
Yes.
I know she's looking at different jobs and we'll see. She wants to do an internship and work with juveniles, actually. Okay. That's what she really wants to do. Okay. Not really be a probation officer, but work with help. Some kind of like find out the logistics about crime itself. And so we'll see. She'll figure it out, I hope. Nice, I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up.
Did you did you kind of like have that conversation with her? Like, this is what I wanted to do. And then she's like, oh, maybe I want to do that too.
No, not at all. She actually started as an
explorer. Is that what they're called?
Mechanical engineer.
Oh, mechanical. Okay.
Mechanical engineer? Pretty sure that's the name of it. That's how she started, but it was during COVID. Mm-hmm. And she said that her straight A's went to like straight C's. She said it was really, really tough for her.
Yeah.
And when they went back to school, they were in person. She said that she was probably one of the few women in those buildings. It's mostly male.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Mm-hmm. And also one of her sorority sisters committed suicide during that time. And I think everything was she was going through a lot.
Yeah.
COVID with her sorority sister,
school, all that stuff.
Almost failing, not failing, but just her grades were not straight. She's always been a straight A student, always. Mm-hmm. So to be a straight C student, she said, you know what, Mom, I'm going to change my major. She talked to her dad and I, and she thought we were going to be mad. And, at that point, look, your mental health is so number one for me. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to get out of school, I'll support you. You'll figure it out. If you want to stay in school, I will support you. I will make sure and pay and make sure you graduate. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that her mental health was good and
how is she now?
She was happy. She's happy about her change.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
That's a good thing.
Living
the life in San Diego. Who wouldn't be, right?
Man, San Diego is so nice. I love San Diego. my son as well, like during COVID, he was still in high school and he was like an A and B student. And then as soon as COVID hit, like he fell into like this depression and his grades went down. But it's crazy. Like I heard a lot of stories like that, like grades going down. They're not around their friends. And, at that age, that's the best part about being a kid. You're always around your friends and hanging out and doing fun or stupid stuff or, just being a kid. And his grades fell too. So he came to move with me for a little bit and just kind of like talking to him like, hey, it's okay. Like things will get back to normal. It'll, this will pass and you'll be able to hang out with your friends. But yeah, it really affected him hard too with his grades. And he stopped playing soccer during that time too. And
see.
It was bad.
No. It was tough for everyone. Yeah. Like I said, she didn't even have a prom or graduation for that matter.
Sucks.
So now that she's graduating next month, I'm like, okay, I'm talking to her dad. I said, we're throwing a big party.
Let's go.
Like every time she has like dances, she'll send me a screenshot of, hey mom, what do you think about this dress? In other words, send her money to pay for it.
I like it. Here's a price tag.
But since she didn't have a prom, I always feel like, oh, what do you want?
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it's not too much.
Yeah.
So she's happy. She's excited.
That's
I'm
good.
Really excited. I'm very proud of my baby girl.
Yeah. Dang. Okay. And then how old are your other ones?
8 and 6.
8 and 6.
2 boys. They're 19 months apart.
Jeez. It's kind of like me and Maddie. Yeah, 21 months apart.
Oh, see? There
Fun
you go.
times.
You know how it is. It's tough. 2 little boys.
Oh, my God. I know. We're going to have 3 under 3.
Oh, that's exciting.
No, it's not. Like everybody keeps saying that's exciting.
You.
It's not exciting.
That little girl is going to have.
That's what everybody's saying. Maddie's
She's going to have you wrapped around her finger.
My wife keeps saying, I can't wait until you're a girl dad. She's just going to
you're going to
melt your heart. And
I'm not going to say that you're going to love her more than your boys because we love our kids the same.
Yeah. But you're
for the most part, right?
Yeah, sometimes it depends on the day,
right?
No, I already know I'm gonna love her differently than I love my boys. I don't think I'm gonna love her more.
The protection.
That's exactly it. Like I'm going to protect her more versus like if my boys fall.
Right.
Like, oh, hey, get back. Yeah, you're good. Maybe if she falls, I'm like, oh, baby,
I told you
okay?
so.
Yeah.
That's a Mexican thing or a Hispanic thing. I know it is for me. I said, see, I told you not to do that instead of like, are you okay?
Maddie doesn't like it when I do that. She's like, you can't tell them I told you so because they don't understand.
I always
Their brain isn't even developed.
I need to.
And I'm like, I know. It's the brown.
But I told them so.
I told them not to do that. Like, yeah, they don't understand what you're saying. They don't comprehend.
They have to go through it themselves.
I was going to ask you something. Let's talk about your real estate now.
Okay.
Where do you get the majority of your business? Is it just your sphere, referrals? Do you buy leads, or how does all that look like for you?
No, I don't buy leads. Referrals, Instagram. I've gotten a couple of them now.
Let's go.
I'm so excited.
Let's go.
So it's making the videos that I've been making with you. I need to make more.
Yes, we need to get you in.
So I think it's mostly referrals. If I know somebody, they'll remember if I keep posting. And family members, obviously, they refer me. I don't have to buy leads.
Yeah.
Luckily.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's been good. It's been good.
So your social media essentially and family, like your sphere.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
And like they say, when you go out, always talk about it. I'm not that type of person. I'm not like right away, I'm a realtor.
I'm a realtor.
No.
Contact
How many
me.
realtors are in town?
Man.
That's the last thing.
18,000.
If I go somewhere, I never talk about that.
Yeah.
I know I should. People always tell me I should.
Yeah.
But I don't. Because if I make a connection with you, you're going to remember me.
Yeah.
You're going to know, oh, she was a realtor. I can send her somebody or anything like that. I want to make good connections. If we get along, great. If you don't like me, if you don't want to, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into a party and be like, oh, I'm a realtor. Hello. Because that's like a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And no, I'm about like, hey, I think I get along with most people. And if you don't like me, that's on you.
Then you're weird.
I like me. Yeah. So it's okay.
I love myself. Yeah. Yes. You're very easy to get along with. You're genuine.
Tell that to Mike Sensen. I'm just kidding.
That's one thing that I really like about you. Like you're like just nice, like a good person.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You might come across maybe some
bitchy?
No, not bitchy. I want to say like
too strong.
Too strong because you're confident.
So mean.
You're No, I don't want to say mean, but I feel like men or even other women take like offense to confident women.
Oh,
you know
for sure.
I mean?
This is why I'm single.
But I
guys are scared. They're afraid of me.
Yeah,
and
I think you're like, I don't think men should be scared of a confident. My wife is very, very confident
and gorgeous too.
Thank you. But I don't know. Like, I feel like some people could see her as like, oh, she's too aggressive, or oh, she states her mind and her opinion, and because she knows what she's talking about. And just like you, I'm pretty sure like if somebody's talking to you and you know what you're talking about, you're not going to back
my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I shouldn't.
No, I think you should, and I think that's what makes
that's just
us
me.
cool. Like, you should be able to share your
I'll tell you how I feel.
Yeah, exactly.
And see, my whole family they already know how I am. My mom used to call me licenciada sin título. So that's being an attorney without the title.
Yeah.
Because if something was going on, I'm going to tell you how it is, and this is how it is, and it might sound mean, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, I'm totally fine.
Yeah.
But then some people are not like that.
No.
They remember what you said a month ago.
Yeah. Why do people like that? That's so weird. Like, I can have like a heated conversation or like a debate, and then be perfectly fine like 10 minutes later.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, cool. Are you
I mean,
right?
we're all different. We're all going to have different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I am.
Yeah.
Let's talk it out. Communication.
Yes.
And then let's squash it and
then
be
we'll
friends.
move on. Yeah.
Let's have a drink. Let's have some wine.
Exactly. Yeah. So where can people find you if they need to reach you for real estate needs, if they need to reach you to take you out on a date because you are single? I don't know. Where can people reach you? Right here.
I am on Instagram, Claudia Corral LV.
Mm-hmm.
_ I want to say. No, I don't even know.
I have to verify that. Hold on.
I think so.
1 second.
Claudia Corral _ LV.
Yes.
On Instagram. And you can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook, Claudia Corral. You can't miss me.
What about email? Can people email you?
Yes.
Okay.
Email, it's claudiagcorral@gmail.com.
Awesome.
And my number is 702-290-9805. You want to buy or sell?
There we go. Yes. Thank you so much. How was this? Was it as crazy or nerve-wracking as you thought? Or
I'm still a little nervous, which is weird because I like to talk about myself. So I don't know. I feel like I'm on a first date.
Is it the lights? Is it the lights and the microphone?
The lights.
Yeah.
Make me pretty.
You don't need help with that. You're good. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate your time.
You know, you're a friend.
Yes,
and I appreciate you.
I'm excited to air this, and thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes. That was great. You did good.
All right,
you did really
good. Are you sure? I don't know.
Right?